G'day Internet, welcome back to another video. And before I get started, yes, it is still the middle of winter here in Canberra and it's cold. But on this, it was actually fairly sunny, cold morning. After spotting a sneaky Facebook Marketplace ad last night, I went out and I got myself some Atari. The ad was actually for the 2600 Vader, which was listed as broken. But when I got out there, there was also this 7800. Now, I know absolutely nothing about the 7800, not a particularly popular console here in Australia. I honestly don't ever remember seeing it in the shops. During that period, it was all Master System and Nintendo. I legitimately do not remember ever seeing the 7800, but I'm guessing they were around because we have one right here. Now, the 2600 was actually listed as broken. It was dirt cheap, so I grabbed it anyway. And it turns out it works. Yeah. I gave it a quick test. Here is some footage. In all its RF glory, it's pretty terrible. But the 7800 doesn't seem to work at all. So that's what we're going to be looking at today. So let's get started. So, like I said, I don't know anything about the 7800, but there's some obvious things we can test, like the power supply. If I can get my little doohickeys in there. We've got nothing. Or am I just making bad contact? No, there we go. We've got, well, 13 volts. And being an unregulated power supply, that's probably about right. That's usually what I get out of my unregulated 9-volt 2600 power supply. So that bit is fine. And with it all plugged in, if I hit the power button, I get nothing. Now, I don't know if this is like a 2600 or some other machines where if you don't have anything plugged in, it doesn't power on. But if I was to plug a cartridge in, and I still get absolutely nothing. So let's pull the cover off it and see what's going on inside. Right, just looks like a bunch of Phillips head screws. Warranty void if label damaged. Well, I think that horse is bolted. Okay, is that it? Seems to be. Okay, we are inside, and it is a bit grubby. Well, we've seemed to have a whole bunch of the little normal twist tabs around the outside, although they seem to be pretty much undone. I'm guessing there is screws maybe underneath this RF shield. Oh, there we go. RF shield be gone. No. There are no screws. It's just being a pain. There we go. And it's out. Okay, taking a closer look at the board. Obviously RF modulator. We seem to have some custom chips. I'm guessing the processor is here somewhere. But we do have a power regulator up the back here on this heatsink. So I think that should be something to test. But the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure I'm actually getting power through this jack here. It could simply be broken. Righto, let's just test this. And yep, we've got our 12 volts there. Now, how about that power regulator? It looks like I can actually get to it. Just here. One of these was neutral. Which one's neutral? That's neutral, right. I don't seem to have anything getting to the power regulator, like, at all. I mean, I should at least see the incoming voltage, right? Right? Let's get this lower shield off. And see what's going on. Okay, just doing some more poking around. I seem to have, where is it? 5 volts at the switch. So something is bringing the 12 volt down to 5 volt. But why am I not seeing anything at this power regulator? Huh. I've actually got nothing coming through the power button. I wonder if it's just a dead power button. How can I rig this up for testing? Right, what I've done is I've simply tacked on a bit of wire that I can use as a button. And let's see how we go. If I just touch this, because it's a momentary touch. Hey! The LED came on. All right, I'll hook it up to the TV and see if it's actually doing anything. Hey, look, it's playing asteroids. I think it's asteroids. It looks very asteroid-ish. Maybe this whole thing is just a dead button. There you go, asteroids. Okay. If I go, where's one of those games? What do we got? Super Huey and Motor Psycho. Come on, Motor Psycho. It's got a motorcycle on the front I used to ride. Looks like I'm just going to have to use that. Oh, God, that's not a very nice fit, is it? Okay. Put this thing back on because it keeps falling off. All right, see how we go. No, we're booted into asteroids again, but that could very well just be the cart. Hang on. All right, so it's actually got a bent leg in there, which probably isn't doing me any favours. But, Super Huey works, so it's probably just this cartridge. Look, it works. Now, the hard part. Oh, shh. Thank you. These are an odd size button. I don't know where I'm going to get another one from. I'm going to have to do some Googling. Actually, it turns out that all these buttons are toast. Doesn't bode well, does it? Right, so a quick run to JCar, and they have 2 different kinds of switches. They have these ones, focus, but they seem to stick up too high. The buttons that are actually on the Atari are a lot more flush, so I don't think these are going to work. But they also had these. Now, these, I believe, are designed to have a cap put on them. But if I grab my flush cutters and simply snip that off, maybe a bit better than that, and I have a button that is pretty much, focus, I have a button that is pretty much identical to the original. So let's try the power button first and see how we go from there. Okay, moment of truth. Hey, it works. All right, I will now go and swap out the other 3 buttons. Actually, no, I won't. I need to make sure that that button is actually going to work in the case. Let's do that first. Okay. Hey, nice. My little modified JCar switch works. Now I'll do the other 3. Okay, that's all the buttons done. So on, cool, reset. Yep, reset seems to work. Select one player, intermediate, advanced, expert, novice. That all seems to work. And if I go into a game, pause. Pause seems to work now too. I think we have a functional 7800. But there is a couple of things I still want to do. I want to have a look at the cartridge slot. It seems unnecessarily stiff. At the very least, I just want to pop this plastic cover off and have a look. And the cases are absolutely filthy. Okay, never mind. It looks like it's stuck down more than just the clips. Actually, yeah, I can see some glue down in there. So I'm not going to screw with it. What I do want to do, though, is get a little bit of contact cleaner and maybe some very fine sandpaper in there, though. Right, some contact cleaner. It's probably way too much. And let's get some 1200 grit paper. And they need a tiny bit. Let's see if we can get it down in there. Yeah, that feels good. Okay, just a little bit of extra plastic in there to give it some rigidity. There we go. And we've got 2 pins on either side, which are past the little separator bit. So let's make my bit of sandpaper thinner. All right, another squirt with some contact cleaner. And that's probably all I can do about that. It's a shame the other cartridge I had, Motor Psycho, doesn't seem to work, but I might try and get some wet and dry in there as well. And there you go, Motor Psycho now works. Now it is a fully functional 7800. Well, at least with the 2 games that I have. Well, 3 if you count Asteroids. So here's the base plate. It is full of, well, crud. Let's see how much we can get out with a brush. Surprisingly, quite a bit. Right, good old Windex, paper towel. Not too shabby. But for the top half, you may notice something. It still has the clear film on it. Hold on. Oh yeah. And there we go, one Atari 7800 now working. Now obviously it wasn't the most involved fix in the world, it was the power button. But in doing that I worked out all 4 of the little micro switches on the front, or tactile switches on the front were faulty, and now they are all working. And I think the machine actually scrubbed up quite nicely. A bit of a clean, a coat of 303 protectant, and obviously having the clean film on the chrome bits has obviously saved a lot of wear and tear there. Now, interestingly enough, both these cartridges, be it Motor Psycho, which I'm glad I got going, it was just the contacts, has a name scribbled on all of it, and the 2600 stuff I picked up as well. Which is Joel Diner, D-E-N-Y-E-R. So it would seem that I have Joel's Atari collection. So Joel, if you happen to be watching, yeah, I can tell you that it's in good hands, I promise. But as it currently stands, I have been a Atari 7800 owner for about 5 hours. And a lot of that was spent cleaning, fault finding, running to JCar for those switches, and what else was there? Oh, waiting for my microphones to charge, because I wasn't really planning on this. So let me know down in the comments, what should I do next? I'm guessing a flash cart of some description. Now, I know there wasn't that many 7800 specific games released for the machine, but they don't seem that common, so maybe a flash cart is a good solution. Tell me, what is the best way of getting video out of this thing other than RF? Does the UAV work in this? So is it composite and S-video? Is there something better? Please let me know down in the comments. But for now, that will pretty much do it. If you like the video, click like, subscribe, all the usual YouTube-y kind of stuff. As always, a massive shout out to my Patreons who are scrolling up the screen as I speak. And if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be able to make rash, impulsive purchases like Atari 7800s on a Sunday morning. And if you'd like to help support the channel, there is a link in the description. But until then, I'll see you in the next one.